Yo, what is going on, guys, and welcome back to 365 Analytics. And today, it is the best day of the week. It is Friday, and it is day 5 of our 2026 NFL Position Ranking Series here on the channel. I'm going to quit yapping. Today is defensive end slash inside outside linebackers, and we will be doing our top 10 D ends and outside linebackers today. Before I get into it, if you guys do enjoy, please like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on post notifications for more content exactly like this. And without further ado, let's get right into our top 10 defensive ends and outside linebackers. Starting off with number 10, it is number 0, New York Giants, double-digit sacks last year, Brian Burns, the former Carolina Panthers draft pick. Been a New York Giant for a few years now, and he was a force on that Giants defensive line. Despite how the season went overall for the Giants, which was not very good, he was that bright spot on the defense alongside Dexter Lawrence, alongside Kayvon Thibodeau, alongside Abdul Carter. On that defensive line that included a lot of depth and double-digit sacks, Pro Bowl appearance, absolute star-studded season. And yeah, I mean, he was a very, very rock-solid piece for that Giants D-line last year. And he was clearly the best player on their defense last year. I mean, obviously, Dexter Lawrence had a little bit of a down year last year. Everybody likes to talk about. So we'll see what happens. But at number 10, Brian Burns. Coming in at the number 9 spot on the list is Broncos outside linebacker / defensive end. I just consider them the same position at this point. That's why I rank them together every single year on the channel. I do not know why people separate these two positions, but nonetheless, it's Nick Bonitto, number 15, Denver Broncos, former draft pick out of Oklahoma. Feels like this guy just got better and better and better every single year in the NFL, and he's really become that guy that is in an upper echelon of pass rushers at this point. He is the best player on the Denver Broncos defensive line. He was last year. He teamed up with guys like Jonathan Cooper, guys like JFM, guys like Zach Allen, and all those guys together really created a force in what's made that what was the driving force to making that Denver Broncos defensive line so good. So yeah, at number 9, Nick Bonitto. At number 8 is a man's name we no longer speak of. He is sacred lore in the Cincinnati Bengals franchise history, now a Baltimore Raven. His name shall not be said. Nah, I'm just kidding. Nonetheless, it's Trey Hendrickson, new Baltimore Raven, free agent signing from the Cincinnati Bengals, obviously. This guy was injured most of last year, only played a few games, was pretty much banged up the entire year, went into the year with a contract dispute last season. Ended up, I don't want to say quitting on the team, but there was some rumors that he was not really rushing at all to get back from his injury, and it was the writing was kind of on the wall for him to eventually leave Cincinnati. But then the whole Max Crosby thing happens. He ends up signing with the Baltimore Ravens, and yeah, it will be interesting to see New Year's Eve, Thursday Night Football, him return to Cincinnati under the lights on primetime TNF. But yeah, injured most of last year. 2024, he led the league in sacks, was very good. This guy is absolutely good in the clutch, I will say that. Not the greatest run defender, but he is, as a pure pass rusher, one of as good as they get, as much as I hate to say it now. But at number 8, Trey Hendrickson. At number 7, it's got to be the lowest this guy has been on the list in years. And I'm ashamed to say I was 3 years ago, around that time frame, 2022, 2023, I was on team TJ Watt over Myles Garrett. But TJ Watt comes in at number 7 on the list at this point. Still a very good player, still a rock-solid pass rusher for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Do not get it twisted, as much as I don't like the guy. An absolute beast. I believe he's made 8 straight Pro Bowls at this point to start his career. Still has yet to win a playoff game, which obviously for defensive ends, that stat isn't really too overblown, but it's an interesting thing to note nonetheless. He's still really good. He's kind of declined a little bit, especially last year. It was kind of noticed where he was not the same TJ Watt that he previously has been. Is that a result of TJ Watt himself? Is that a result of other edge rushers getting naturally better and better and better, and the top tier of edge rushers is better than it's ever been? I don't know. Nonetheless, TJ Watt is still a very good player and a rock-solid defensive end on that Steelers defensive line. At number 7, TJ Watt. At number 6 is a guy who also missed the majority of last season. Really, his second devastating injury of his career suffered last season with the San Francisco 49ers. When I say devastating, I mean season-ending. A season-ending injury he suffered. That's Nick Bosa, obviously former Defensive Player of the Year winner, perennial pass rusher, the rock of the 49ers defense, along with Fred Warner, who we talked about the other day on the linebackers list, but obviously a beast. A lot of people are going to forget how really good he is because of the injury last year, but people are going to learn again real quick this season. He'll be back fully healthy this season, a long recovery time. He was hurt early into the season last season, so he'll pretty much guaranteed be back early in the year or week 1. I think he's guaranteed back week 1. He'll have a fully healthy season under his belt, and he'll be back to that upper echelon of pass rushers that we have seen from him in the past. So, yeah, at number 6, Nick Bosa. At number 5 is a guy who, former Michigan man, drafted 2nd overall to the Detroit Lions, and played 17 games last year and was very, very good along the way. In a pretty down year for the Detroit Lions, a year that was pretty much below expectations in everybody's mind. Missed the playoffs, offense kind of underwhelmed, defense kind of underwhelmed overall. Aiden Hutchinson was absolutely elite, one of the top contenders for the Comeback Player of the Year award last year. Ended up going to Christian McCaffrey, but Aiden Hutchinson, I believe, was 2nd or 3rd place. Obviously, everybody kind of remembers the devastating injury in 2024, the gruesome injury that ended his season, but he came back this season, back to full strength, back to full health, and came for a vengeance, double-digit sacks, top-tier pass rusher, and was absolutely a rock on the Lions' defensive line. So, yeah, number 5, Aiden Hutchinson. At number 4, we have new Baltimore Raven. Just kidding. And that's exactly what Eric DeCosta said when he saw Trey Hendrickson still on the market, and he noticed he had to give up 2 first-round picks for Max Crosby. All jokes aside, Las Vegas Raider, Max Crosby coming in at number 4 on the list. Again, he's in that top tier of pass rushers. Everybody knows it. Absolute force stopping the run, absolute force against the pass. There you see that forced fumble strip sack against Caleb Williams there. This guy can do it all. Unlike Trey Hendrickson, he can stop the run. Maybe some might consider Trey Hendrickson a better pure pass rusher. Some might consider Trey Hendrickson better in the clutch, and Trey Hendrickson is cheaper. So I guess the Ravens do get that end of things. But at this point, Max Crosby, Las Vegas Raider. He's going to be a Raider this year. It's pretty much been confirmed now since the rescinded trade. So, yeah, coming in at number 4, Max Crosby. Coming in at number 3, it is former first-round pick, I believe 3rd overall pick, or was he the 2nd? Stroud and him went both top 3, both to the Texans in the same year. I believe he was the 3rd overall pick. It is Will Anderson Jr., absolute rock. Future Defensive Player of the Year, in my opinion. The best player on the elite Texans defense. It feels like we've talked about the Houston Texans every single day, and that's because we have. That defense is that good. Will Anderson, Danielle Hunter, I did the top 20 of pass rushers, but he is on the 11 through 20. He's not on the honorable mentions, but we'll talk about him more in a second. Danielle Hunter, you have Azeez Al-Shire, you have Kalen Bullock, you have Derek Stingley, you have Kamari Lassiter, you have all these guys. C.J. Gardner-Johnson's even on that defense now, I think. But you have all these guys combining to make one elite unit in Houston. I believe that defense was deemed Horns from Hell. Was that the name we had for them? I think that was the name we created for them. But, yeah, nonetheless, Will Anderson, absolute rock. Double-digit sacks again. Pro Bowler again. Absolutely elite. I mean, best player on the Texans defense, and he comes in at number 3 on the list. Coming in at number 2, it is Jerry Jones' best friend. Nah, that's also a joke, but it's Green Bay Packer. It is Micah Parsons, obviously the former Dallas Cowboy, traded right before the season started last season. So I believe when we did this list last season, he was a Dallas Cowboy. So this is the first year doing this list where Micah Parsons is on the list, obviously, because he's on the list every year. He's going to be on the list every year, but where Micah Parsons is a Green Bay Packer. Micah Parsons, very good season last year, double-digit sacks in the games he did play. Even early in the season, he kind of just joined the Packers. He was slowly getting ramped up. He wasn't playing 100% snaps. Middle of the seasons when he absolutely took off, and then towards the end, had the gruesome injury. I believe it was torn ACL, or was it torn ACL or torn Achilles? It was one of them. I think it was a torn ACL. Missed the rest of the season, missed the start of the playoffs against the Bears, and then is expected to miss probably a month of the 2026 season even. So we probably won't even need to see him week 1 for the Packers at this point, but nonetheless, when this guy's on the field, he really hasn't had that fully healthy season with the Packers yet, and in 2026 he won't either, so he won't be playing 17 games, but this guy's an absolute rock. He's that guy. He's that guy. He's the second best pass rusher in the league, and he's the best outside of one man, and you all know who it is. Myles Garrett. In my opinion, I won't spoil it. I'll save it for the top 100. But I'll just say this guy's going to place very, very high when I do my top 100 list in a few weeks here. The best defensive end in the NFL, and I was one of those guys who claimed TJ Watt was better than him when the whole TJ Watt versus Myles Garrett, Steelers versus Browns fans debate was going on. I was one of those guys. I'm ashamed to say it. This guy, new Los Angeles Ram, a little over a month ago, June 1st, he was traded to the Rams. Kind of out of the blue, it kind of started ramping up. There was rumors about it. Browns fans were like, could Myles Garrett get traded? And he got traded kind of in a snap of fingers. So he now teams up with Sean McVay and one of the best teams, the Super Bowl favorites by far. We'll talk about that more in the coming weeks. We'll start having podcasts this season, and we'll start doing things like that. But we'll talk about that more. But the Rams are easily Super Bowl favorite, and adding this guy only really boosted those odds. They were probably the favorite before, and they're going to be the favorite after by a large margin. So, yeah, the best defensive end in the NFL, new Los Angeles Ram, Myles Garrett. And here is the full list, Friday, December 17th. Defensive end / outside linebackers. Here it is. As you can see, the top 10, Garrett, Parsons, Anderson Jr., Crosby, Hutchinson, Bosa, Watt, Hendrickson, Bonito, and Burns, as we talked about with the clips and the voiceover. 11 being Danielle Hunter of the Texans. Again, Houston Texans. Can you see a trend on this defensive rankings over the past week? Montez Sweat, Jared Verse, Josh Hines-Allen, Trayvon Walker, 2 Jaguars back-to-back there. Byron Young, who's a very, very underrated player, going to be rushing next to Myles Garrett. He's only going to get better. Jonathan Grenard, Alex Highsmith, Odafe Owe, new Washington Commander, and the ageless wonder Khalil Mack, who's still a very good player. Some honorable mentions being Andrew Van Ginkel, Dallas Turner, George Karlaftis, Chop Robinson, and DeMarcus Lawrence of the Seahawks, who really had kind of a decent season last year. But yeah, that is going to do it for our defensive rankings. The entire defensive rankings is done. Defensive end / outside linebackers, interior defensive line, linebacker, safety, cornerback. Those are the 5 days. We are done. Those 5 positions are off the board. Next week on Monday, we will be starting with the offensive line. We will be doing our top 10 offensive linemen, about mapping out the entire top 15. But yeah, that is it for the defensive rankings. Goes by quick when you do it 5 days in a row like this, but we'll have our 5 days next week. Offensive line Monday, tight end Tuesday, wide receiver Wednesday, running back Thursday, and quarterback on Friday. We'll also have our 2026 NFL Top 100 on Tuesday. Not next Tuesday, not the Tuesday coming up, but I believe Tuesday the 28th. And possibly we'll do head coaches. I'm not sure if I'm going to do a video on it yet, but we might do head coaches, something a little special. Top 32 head coaches on Monday the 27th. So, yeah. That's going to do it for today's video. If you guys did enjoy today's video, please like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on post notifications for more content exactly like this. And I will see y'all on Monday. We'll have offensive linemen for you. Have a great night and have a great weekend.